So here's your ribbon, and here's your quick access toolbar, and we're going to discuss customizing each of these. This is actually just a customization of Microsoft Excel, your application of Microsoft Excel. We are not customizing a workbook or an Excel file. We're not customizing your coworker's Excel application. For the most part, we're just customizing your application of Microsoft Excel on your machine. There's a few exceptions to this with code and automation and programmatically doing things, but for the most part, we're just modifying your version of Excel. And before we get into customizing them, let's talk real briefly about navigating the ribbon and the quick access toolbar. Obviously, you can click through here and activate each individual tab. Very, very obvious. One thing to point out, though, is that there are very useful hotkeys. So I'm going to press Alt, and so now you see just highlighted now are all these tooltips indicating what the next button you push will do. So if I press H, it's going to activate the Home tab. Okay, and so now you see all the hotkeys on the Home tab. So if I click 1, it's going to bold this cell. Okay, so now you see bold is activated, and I can type and it's bold. Down here it's not bold. Pretty obvious stuff. Also, and this is the last thing I'll say about hotkeys, you press Alt again, you can use your arrow keys to navigate through. So I'm just going left, right, down, right. You can navigate through all this stuff. Anyways, into the good stuff. So click File, Options, and then here are your two sub-menu items to customize the ribbon or the quick access toolbar. Let's go to the ribbon. You'll see here's a list of all of the features in Microsoft Excel that we can add to the ribbon. Similarly, over on the quick access toolbar, basically the same thing, another list of all of the features that you can add to the quick access toolbar. Let's go back to the ribbon, and I'm going to go ahead and enable the developer tab because I use it all the time. I've recently reset my settings for this video. And let's add a new tab to the ribbon as well. We'll click New Tab down here, and we'll click on that tab and let's rename it. We're going to rename it to Goose Tab. Okay, and then let's rename this group as well. We'll call it just 1, and let's add a new group as well. We'll rename it to 2. Very creative we are. And let's move Goose Tab up here. We'll just drag and drop it. And let's click OK so we can see the new tabs that we've added. We should see the Developer tab and Goose tab with no buttons in it. Great, so here's our Developer tab and here's Goose tab, right where we put it. There's no buttons here. Here's a Developer tab. This is a default tab that Microsoft Excel has created, obviously. Here's all their default buttons. So let's go back in and let's add some buttons to Goose tab. So another way to get to that menu is you right click on the ribbon and click Customize Ribbon. So we've got Goose tab selected. Let's select a group down here and let's add some features. So we're looking at popular commands here. So this is what Microsoft Excel thinks that we're going to be using a lot. We may want to customize and add to our ribbon. Let's look at all of them though. All commands here. There are just tons of commands here. I don't even know all of these. I probably don't know half of them, to be quite honest. So let's just arbitrarily add a handful to our group 1 here. So I'll click Equation and I have group 1 selected. Go ahead and add some over. I'll just add a handful of these. And then let's add some to group 2. Sure, let's just do a bunch of these. Okay, now let's click OK, and we should see these buttons corresponding to these features now added into our Goose tab. Here we go. So these are all the buttons that we added. And again, these are just native Microsoft Excel features. And the whole idea behind this is customizing Microsoft Excel to be more usable for your application. Let's say you work on a lot of financial documents. You may make a Finance tab and you'll add all of the pertinent features to that tab. And similarly, you may do a lot of analytics, so you make a separate tab for your analytics. Now we've kind of been neglecting the quick access ribbon. Let's go back to the menu here, quick access toolbar. It's the toolbar, not the ribbon, excuse me. And so let's just click on all commands again, and we can just add a handful of stuff up here as well. It's basically the same thing. There are no tabs to the quick access toolbar though. So I've added less than, sparkline, and list box. And there you have it. There's 3 new buttons that we added to the quick access toolbar.